So continuing, this is part 2. We're continuing with intercept form in our review for our CFA coming up on Wednesday and Thursday on cubics and intercept form of quadratics and factoring. So we're going to finish up intercept form here. So for intercept form, the final task that we have is to actually write an equation in intercept form given certain information. Now what we know of intercept form is this. Let me move the paper down a little bit. Intercept form is f of x equals a x minus p times x minus q. They're all multiplied. And what we've looked at from previous examples, p and q are your x-intercept, which is why this is called intercept form. So looking at number 13, it says, okay, given this information in number 13, can I write an equation in intercept form given these 2 points in this a value? So my a value is 1, and my p value is 1, and my q value is 3. The reason I know that this is my p and q value is because what is the y coordinate for these? 0. Anytime you have a y coordinate of 0, that means that that is an x-intercept. And vice versa, anytime you have an x coordinate of 0, it means it is the y-intercept. So anytime you're asked to find the x-intercept, you plug in 0 for y, and anytime you're asked to find a y-intercept, you plug in a 0 for x. So this is actually quite simple. So knowing that this right here is our intercept form, let's use what we have. So f of x is going to equal, what's our a value? It's 1. I don't have to write it, so I'm not going to. Anytime you have a 1 for an a value, it's understood to be there. So let's look at our p and q values. Remember, it says x minus p. So I'm going to have x minus, and what's p? 1. That's my first factor. The second one up here says x minus q. Well, my q value is 3. So it's x minus 3. And that's it. You're done. You have just written an equation in intercept form based on an a value and 2 points. So let's try 2 more examples. Number 14, we've got an a value of 2. We've got x-intercepts or roots of 3 and 5. And how do I know they're x-intercepts? Because the y coordinate is 0. So let's actually write our equation then. F of x is going to equal my a value, which is 2, times x minus p, so x minus positive 3, and my q value, which is 5, which is x minus 5. So this is it. This is how I finish. I've finished with this one. So the last one that I'm working on here is the same thing, except we have to make sure that we're careful with signs. So if I'm looking at my a value, it's negative 3. And once again, my 2 intercepts, my x-intercepts, which are also called roots and zeros, are negative 2 and 4. And I know those are x-intercepts because the y value is 0. I know you're tired of hearing that, but you need to learn it. So now I'm going to go ahead and write out my equation. So f of x equals, I'm going to write my a value, which is negative 3, and then I'm going to write my 2 intercepts. Now, it says x minus p. Well, what is p in this case? It's negative 2, so I have x minus negative 2. Then the next one is x minus q. So I have minus q. Q is negative 4. So when I write it like this, what does minus a negative change to? Well, it changes to a positive. So I have negative 3. I can change minus a negative 2 to plus 2. And I can change minus a negative 4 to plus 4. And that is our final equation in intercept form with an a value of negative 3 and roots of negative 2 and negative 4. And that's all on the first part of the review for intercept form.